Hi, everybody. Today is Friday the 13th. My name is Shannon, and this is Minerva Turkey Knits. Hi, everybody. Everybody who's new, everybody who used to be with me when I had my podcast before, welcome. It's been about 6 years since my last episode, so that's quite the hiatus. But my health started to get a little bit worse, and that interfered and continues to interfere. But I'm going to record in chunks today, so if things seem a little disjointed, that's why. Also, I may be blurry and then come back into focus. I'm not used to recording anymore, and this is my husband's webcam, so I'm not used to it at all. And if I move forward or backward, it is a little slow catching up to focusing on me. So I'm trying to not be as animated as I usually would be, as my normal self. I stopped podcasting because mostly I struggle with some disability issues, which is, it affects my memory, it affects my speech sometimes, affects other things too, walking, different things like that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end of the podcast. So if you want to stick around for that, cool beans. If that's not your jam, no worries. Not going to hold it against you. It's just something that I've been thinking about for the last couple of years, dealing with these issues. And I'd like to be more of an advocate for the disabled community. And I know I can't do that if I'm still hiding my own disabilities. So, yeah, no worries. Once the video goes up, I will put a timestamp on there and let you know when that's going to start so that you don't have to be here for that. No worries. Okay. With that being said, this is mostly just about Maryland sheep and wool from last weekend. That's the reason I'm doing this, is because really I just want to share all the really cool stuff and amazing vibes that I got from seeing and touching yarn in person, but mostly just from being around people, our people. You know what I'm talking about. Our yarn community, our fiber community, our arts community. After everything we've been going through over the last couple of years, it was just so beautiful to be around our people, our community. It's hard to put into words, but I know that probably a good chunk of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And I got so overloaded with adrenaline when I made our first stop at Magpie's new shop that I forgot to even put on my mask. Because I'm still a masker. It's who I am. I have health issues that I need to be really aware of. And I I drove around in my wheelchair that shop, which is amazing, by the way. I'll back up and get to that. But just knowing that my people were in that store, I got overwhelmed. I had my mask right in my pocket, didn't even put it on until about halfway through my visit to that shop. So let me back up. My girlfriends and I we go to Maryland every year, but then the pandemic happened and of course everything shut down, no going there. So we started to plan our visit to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool for this year, but unfortunately all of our plans fell apart. You know, COVID, all kinds of stuff, family stuff, money stuff. You know, it's the way it is. Things come up. And we weren't planning to go, and I wasn't planning to go. And then my husband said, you know what, let's just pack the car, let's go. And this is just a few weeks before Maryland was going to happen. And I'm like, you're crazy. He's never been to a festival with me. I always go with my girls. And I said, okay, let's do it. So we packed the car. We packed a cooler, and we went. Now, from where we live in Florida to West Friendship, where MDSW is held, 13 hours. So what we did is we stopped in hotels along the way, broke it up into segments where it was, a nice flow for the trip. And we saw family along the way, which was pretty cool. Family we haven't seen in a while. So we did that. And our first stop on Friday, once we get into the area, was supposed to be Fiberspace in Alexandria, Virginia, and then go from there to Frederick to go to the new shop for Magpie. Sorry, speech difficulties, one of my disabilities side effects. But once we get into going into Alexandria, DC area on the highway, traffic is at like a dead stop. And it took us hours to go like 20 miles. So we had to cut out Fiberspace if we were going to make it to Magpie. So I said, okay, we can always hit Fiberspace on Monday on our way out because it's south. So we made the decision to go to Magpie, and we made it there by 5 p.m. They close at 6. Now we left our hotel, which is only like 3 hours from Alexandria, at 9 a.m. At 5 p.m. we got to Frederick. It was only supposed to be 3.5 hours away. We made one stop. It was all highway traffic. It was insane. I was so upset in the car. I'm like, we're not even going to make it there before they close. But we made it. Sorry. I'm going to drink a lot of water because my throat's really dry because I'm super nervous doing this. Like, super nervous doing this. Okay. I can do it. I can handle this. So, sorry. Go back down. I'm messing with levels. Okay, I think that's good. Better. Okay, sorry. Yeah, because I'm seriously nervous about this. And I just spilled water on myself. I can't even work a water bottle today. Okay, so we get to Magpie. My husband's parallel parking. He gets my wheelchair out, gets me set up, and while he's fixing the car, I'm too excited. I gotta get to the shop. So I cross the street, get up in front of the shop, and there's just this happy little sign on the front door set up that says, if you need assistance, and it's got the little disability wheelchair guy, call this number. Because they've made their shop accessible. So I call the number, they come around to get me, bring me through the back with the ramp. Beautiful. I know not every shop can do this. I know that making your store or really anything accessible sometimes is not realistic. But like I said, we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah. But yes, they've made theirs accessible, so is Fiberspace in different ways. But just makes my heart so warm because it just made it so exciting that I didn't have to worry about that. And I get inside and I'm so just goosebumps and excitement, and there's all this great lighting so I can see the colors just right, and everyone is smiling, even the ones in masks. You can see here and their eyes, and you can see the smiles through that part of their face because everyone's just glowing. Oh, it was beautiful. It was exactly what my soul needed. I needed that. I needed to know that goodness in the world still existed, because my gosh, the news and the pain in the world today is just too much. It is just too much. So feeling all of that was like a balm for my soul. Yeah. I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back. So, at Magpie, I got to finally meet in person Andrea Mallory, which I love all of her patterns. You guys do too, and I know it. Probably most. I'm wearing her shift pattern, the cowl that I'm not practiced in the reverse for the camera. I've lost that skill. But this is this shift pattern. I'll actually take it off and show you. Gosh, I've got crazy hair today. And I'm wearing one of Shelly Cann's newest shirts. I got it at the Magpie shop. I also got, sorry, this is going to be all kinds of disjointed. This is what you get with me now. It's because I even have goosebumps now, talking to people. Maybe like 3 of you, but that's okay. I also got this one. Also designed by Shelly. How can you not? So, this is the shift cowl. I made mine in one colorway. So all one colorway. It takes 3 skeins of spin cycle yarns. Yes, I made this specifically for Maryland, but it's really just kind of like making a regular shawl, and then you're going to seam it at the end. But you can do it really with any yarn. I have all kinds of yarns I'm thinking about doing it with. I think it would be really cool with self-striping sock yarn in a sport weight. I think that would be really fun. But I kind of, since we decided at the last minute, Liana Bear, my corgi is losing her mind. Since we decided last minute that we were going to go, I only had about a week and a half to make this after I ordered from Spin Cycle. And let me tell you how awesome these women are that sent, I ordered from their site. I sent them a note and said, please, can you mail this like right away? I will pay for whatever expedited mail you will give me. They got it to me so fast. They're amazing. But all one colorway. This colorway is Rosy Maple, I think. I'll put it in the notes underneath, you know. But yeah, I love it because it's pretty effortless to wear. You can easily style it lots of different ways. And I wore this sucker a lot. See, here it is on a different shoulder. Can pin it up. Since it was so rainy and yucky, I actually ended up wearing it like a snood, like this for a while over the weekend, because it kept the wind from getting my ears and stuff. And then I just put my hat over it. Because let me tell you, the weather at Maryland was not nice to us. Not nice at all. So yes, I got to meet Andrea, and she was a doll. Absolutely a doll. She took so much time to speak to every person. She was sweet and pleasant. Just a doll. While I was there, I made some yarn purchases. I got 3 skeins of Spin Cycle to do another one of these, but I got different colors. They're in my project bag in the living room, which I cannot forget to show you. I will get that the next time I take a break. But I did buy a sweater quantity of yarn. Sorry, I'm looking at my hair in the monitor. And I fell down really hard for my, this is going to be my Rhinebeck sweater, you guys. This was my biggest splurge. I can't believe I did it. This is Spin Cycle Dream State, which is their worsted, in the rusted rainbow colorway. They had the exact amount of skeins that I wanted, and they look fantastic. They're reading more red than orange on this camera, but I will take some pictures outside and I'll put them on my Instagram. I'm actually thinking about, since I can't use Ravelry anymore, I'm thinking about starting a Facebook group if I decide to start the podcast again. or if I don't do the podcast again, or maybe along with the podcast, who knows. Back in the days before Rav, how I met other knitters was on Flickr, and I still have a Flickr account, so I might just start putting stuff up there. But I did fall down real hard. These are great. They're orange and green, yellow, browns. Basically, if you've been to Rhinebeck before, this is the hill. This is what the hill looks like to me, with the oranges and the yellows, the browns, the reds. So yes, Rhinebeck, baby. We have to go now. I get a sweater quantity. Gotta go. My husband picked these out for me at Magpie. We went back on Sunday afternoon. I'll go back to that later because I wanted to go to another yarn shop over there. And he picked these two out from Magpie. Just washing everything out. But this is their Swanky Sock base. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 400 yards, 115 grams. And this colorway is... boop-a-doop-a-doo. I don't know. I don't know what colorway this one is. This one is Evil Beaver. And I got the Shelly Can pen to go with, or he got me the Shelly Can Beaver pen to go with this one. I think they look really stunning together. The brown and the blue. So those are the purchases from Magpie. Oh, and also this shirt. I think I might have mentioned that though. Okay, so then we get to the festival on Saturday. It's raining. It's 42 degrees, so it's super cold. I packed well though. So if you saw me and you thought I looked a little bit like Ralphie's little brother from A Christmas Story, you were right, because I had layers upon layers upon layers. So I had two thermal shirts on. I had my black pea coat on. I also had this on. I had a hat on. I had fingerless mitts, but my thermal also had hand protection, and I had hand warmers in my pockets. It was excessive, but I grew up and live in Florida, not one of the Florida crazies. I'm used to hot, which I hate, but yeah, I was still cold, and it was raining. So when we got there, we went straight for the big building, so we would be out of the rain. And so overwhelming, so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. But I was mainly there for the people and people watching. It was hard because of the rain, because of the weather, to recognize people, because everyone's wrapped up in these raincoats and coats and hats and scarves, and so really, and masks, because we're all a lot of people were masked in the main building. I would say the majority of people were masked in the main building. So it was really hard to recognize people. So if I walked right by you and I knew you, I'm so sorry. Most of the people that I wanted to run into, I never saw because, or I did see and I didn't even realize it. But I did run into some really, really amazing people that I've missed for a really long time. So that was good too. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm going to take another break, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and we're talking about Saturday. I got the days kind of screwed up in my head. I'm glad I made some notes. That's my corgi ringing her potty bells. We'll go out in a few minutes, little Miss Bear. Would you guys like to meet little Miss Liana Bear, my corgo? You want to come up here, Miss Bear? You want to come up here, Miss Bear? Come here. Good girl. Come here. Oh, I know. Hey, let's take this off. This is not for puppy fingers or puppy toes. Come on. Hop up. Hop up. Oh, you're a big bear. This is Miss Liana Bear. Let's move this so you can see. This is Miss Liana Bear. Yes, I know. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, yes, you're so heavy. I know, Kissy Bear, I know. She's a good girl. She takes care of her mama. Oh, big bear. She weighs like 40 pounds. She's actually going through training right now to see if she would be a good fit to be a service dog for me. So she's doing a training at a little doggy training school to see if it's something that she has the aptitude for. She's 2.5 now, so it's about the right time for what I would need her to do. Not a hole, right? No, okay. Okay, so let's talk about purchases at the festival. One thing that I got that I knew I wanted to get was a basket. Because with him and I driving, I could finally purchase things that I could not fly with. I was so excited about this because for years I always wanted to get a basket. And every year it's like, okay, I can get one of the baskets that collapse, and I have like 3 of those, and I use them all the time. But I wanted to get, a more delicate basket because we have really pretty plant shelves in our house. So I ended up getting a hip basket. It looks kind of like a butt. I mean, you can't deny. But it's actually a egg collection basket. This little ridge here is meant to sit on your hips. And my mother-in-law actually has, pretty much a farm situation going on. And they have chickens. And we got her a smaller one that's actually a working one. This is a working one as well, but it's a little bit more for the display type. But we got her a smaller one, and she's already using it with her chickens. Because coming back through, we drove right past them, so we stopped and had lunch/dinner with them on the way home. But yeah, beautiful basket. It is by Sharon W. Schaefer. Oh my God, I cannot get this thing to focus. Very nice. Very affordably priced. I mean, I was surprised, especially having woven baskets myself. If I wove that basket with that much detail, I mean, the detail on the handle itself, if you take a look at that, look at that. That took forever. I would not sell it for what she sold it for. I would be like, listen, I want hundreds of dollars for this thing. You don't understand. Beautiful. All of her stuff was just amazing. I always like to look at the shaker products that people make because I love folk art. It's my favorite style of artistic genres, and I spent so much time in this booth looking at all the different shaker boxes, and I just could not decide. And then I saw, because we were like, thank you for showing us everything. Everything was beautiful, but there wasn't something that I really clicked with until I heard someone say, do you have more, what's the word for this, pin cushions? And I was like, what? Pin cushions? With the embroidery thing that I've been doing? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to look at your pin cushions. So I have a shaker box. Is it better if I have it back here maybe? Everything's like washing it out. It's a pin cushion inside of a little shaker box. And it's stuffed with walnut shells, so it keeps your pens nice and sharp. So this is going to be very, very helpful for me. It's white with little bees. And I gotta tell you, this thing is a beast. I'm pretty sure I could knock someone unconscious with this. So it's also a survival tool. Yes. Then we went to Miss Bab's booth. They smell so fantastic. They really do. I forgot how much fun I have sniffing yarn. I really did. I forgot how fantastic it is. Before I talk about this, let me just have another sidebar. God, I'm out of practice. Um, Sorry for being so scattered. I warned you. I have to say that people were incredibly kind in almost every booth to ask me if I needed help because of the wheelchair, if I needed anything high up, to ask me if I needed to see anything, if there's anything out of reach, if I needed someone to move. Most everybody was really kind about that. I mean, my husband was with me about 85% of the time, but he saw something and would get excited and go over there and look at that, you know, that kind of thing. And I totally understand because I told him, I'm like, listen, we're going to get separated at some point. We need to decide a meetup place. He's like, I'm not going to get separated. What am I going to go look at? Got separated a lot because he would wander off and look at stuff. So I got 2 skeins at Miss Babs because I don't have any Yowza left in my stash. I always knit it up. So I got Squash Blossom, which is not reading well here. It's much deeper yellow, like egg yolk. Very squishy. And then I got Mad Hatter. Look at that. It's not reading as saturated as it really is, but it's gorgeous. I love it. Okay. Now on that first day, we only stayed a couple of hours because the weather was too crazy and I couldn't take it. The pain was so bad. My body just could not function. So what we did is we left, and earlier I said that we went back to Frederick on Sunday. No, it was Saturday that we went back. We decided to do our own little yarn crawl because our plan had been to go to Frederick, to go to the Knot House, and to go to Magpie. But we barely had enough time to get back to Magpie. So we went back down there. We went to the Knot House because the last Maryland festival that I went to, we went there, and it's just the best little shop. It really is a great little shop. They carry a lot of Irish yarn. Well, not a lot. They carry a few Irish yarns that I really, really like. And that's the Olan line of yarns. They didn't have as many bases as they had last time I was there, but they had pop-up dyers there, so they may have had to make some room. So that's probably what it was. But I did get 2 skeins. This is their fingering base, and it is 8010. I got 2 colorways. This one you won't be able to read because you really only see it in the sunlight, but it is a black and a purple. Oh, look, you can really read it. Nice. A black and a purple, and then a really nice multicolor. Yeah, they're both reading. To go together for a 2-color shawl. I have a specific one in mind. 2 that I have in mind. Not quite sure yet. But yeah, those to go together. And then they had a pop-up from Little Fox. It was very hard to decide what I wanted to get. But I discovered going on this trip that I really don't have a lot of knitted hats. Most of the time when I knit a hat, I gift it. So I need to knit more hats. This is their True Wash DK, and this colorway is Lemon Squeezy. It's a really nice, like a pond scum green. It's reading better there, but I can't get you to see the cute little label that they have because this camera hates me. If I do get into this camera is not it. Or I gotta learn how to use this camera better. But yeah, nice little shop visit. I'm putting them all in the basket. On the second day back at the festival, we slept in, had a great little breakfast in the hotel, just relaxed, went back to the festival. It was cold, still like Ralphie's little brother, completely, wrapped up in thermal wear. Went out, and we went by Ross Farm Fibers. and I got two skeins after seeing my beloved Amy. And this is from the sheep that they named after me from when I had the podcast before. I loved Amy and Scooter Pie. I really miss, that's a soul that was taken way too early. He was a very good person. But I know that Amy and her family are keeping his spirit alive. No crying, no crying, no crying. If she can do it, I can do it. But yes, this is from Minerva, and there's her picture. I wish you could see her better. This is from her second shearing. And it is just, it's so nice and rustic. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I got two skeins of that. This is 100% Romney wool, undyed, unbleached, unbended, sport weight, 250 yards. I don't know what it's going to become yet. I think it would be really cool if it was a rectangular shawl so that I could do all kinds of neat things with it. But I haven't decided. I think it would also make, I think it could make some really interesting things. So I want to have a think on it. If you guys have any kind of unusual things that I could knit, give me some ideas. Because this is some really rustic yarn. I want to do something special with it. So help me brainstorm. Maybe in the comments. I would appreciate it. Or a message on Instagram. However you want to contact me. If you have an idea. And on day 2, I also went a little button crazy. Because I do really like to get buttons at Maryland. That's one of my key things. Absolutely one of my key things is to get buttons. So I got a green set of Mismatched. This is a just amazing set of orange. I have no specific plans for the buttons, but I don't have a lot of much of a button stash. So I always get a couple little cards just so that maybe one day they'll be the perfect buttons. Or maybe one day they'll be the perfect buttons for someone I love and I can gift them to them. Oh, these aren't going to read at all. They're a light blue. Okay, yeah, seriously. If this becomes a thing, I gotta get a different camera. And then a set of multicolor Mismatched. Because I really love the idea of mismatched buttons on a cardigan. I really do. So my button stash, which I am keeping in my new little, just random little pouch from Maryland. I like it a lot. And then my last purchase, we went to Fiberspace on Monday on our way out of town. And I got two skeins. Let's see if this is going to show. Of, I want to make sure I say the right thing here. Of Woolfolk. What's the base? What is the base? It's 109 yards and it is bulky. It's Luft, L-U-F-T, that's what I was looking for. It is 55% merino and 45% Pima cotton. You'd never guess that there was cotton in here by touching it. This feels like a baby bunny. I got two because I intend to make a really nice warm squishy hat for Rhinebeck. Seriously, touching this, you would never think that there was any cotton in it. And it is this beautiful brown with like the silvery brown undertone. Oh wow, that camera really doesn't like me getting that close. Love it. So that's all my yarn purchases that were really hard to get this camera to capture. So I hope that this isn't a total bust. But right here, I'm going to take a little break and then I'm going to come back and talk about some disability awareness stuff that I'd really like to share with you guys. It's not a preachy thing. It's just, I just want to share a few things because there are little things you can do in your life to help people that are disabled, people that you probably know and love that, you know, you never know. doing one or two little things in your life might really help someone. So I'll be back in a minute. Oh, wait, before you go. My favorite purchase of the entire weekend. How could I forget this? I'm already making something, I'm already using it. Favorite purchase of the whole weekend. I hope this reads. It's from Julia. I always want to mispronounce her last name. Julia Hillbrandt, that does the famous felted bags. Oh, you can't see her card. Damn it. Curse you. Try one more time. I guess if I get really close. But basically, she makes all those fantastic felted bags that you've seen at the festivals. If you've been to Rhinebeck or Maryland, you've seen hers. But I didn't know she made small bags. This is my new favorite project bag. And the thing is, it looked like this when I saw it in her booth. And I already fell in love with it. I mean, look at this. Look at the space in this thing. I mean, oh my gosh, look at the space. 2 pockets inside that aren't like sewn to it. They're flaps, which I like because I can tuck things underneath. Great pockets, like great actual usable pockets. Hello. You know who you are. Magnetic snap. But when I was interested in it, she said, would you like me to felt anything on it for you? Needle felt anything on it? Liana? She's crazy. I said, yeah, I'd love that. So she asked me, she took out all of her needle felting colors and said, pick out some. So I picked out some. She said, come back in 15-20 minutes. And she did that. I love it. You have so much room in it though. You can make it a little smaller or make it a little bigger. Yeah. Favorite purchase. I know I look crazy, but it's such a great bag. Such a great shape. Yeah, look at that. Look how big. Look how big that can be and how taking up little space it can do. And functional pockets on both sides. I can fit my whole hand in there. I can fit more in the back one just because it's not needle felted. I might embroider on it too. Okay, now I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, so a little bit about disability awareness from me, from my experience. I don't speak for anybody else, any organization, anything like that. When I was in my car accident in 2012, I was injured pretty bad. My husband was injured as well. But it injured my spine, cracked my sternum, messed up my shoulders, messed up my knees, messed up my jaw a little bit, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. And I had to wear a torso brace for a while, all kinds of neat stuff. And I fought tooth and nail not to use mobility aids. I didn't want to look sick. I didn't want to look broken. I wanted to look normal. I wanted to get back to work. I wanted to just make sure it was over. And that was ridiculous. And I fought that for a long time. And then I finally gave in and started using a manual wheelchair. And that was really, really hard with my shoulders. So my husband ended up pushing me most of the time, 99% of the time. But anywhere I went, if I was taking pictures with somebody or a family event, anything, I would have someone help me get up out of my chair. I would take pictures, get back in my chair. I didn't want any record of me being in a chair. I was embarrassed. I don't want anybody to know. I don't know. It's a hard thing to admit. It's embarrassing admitting that, but that's the truth. I was so embarrassed that for years I would go to festivals with just a cane, and by the time I would get home, I would be in such agony that it would take me a week, sometimes 2 weeks to recover. And finally, a few years ago, after moving to our new house, I decided that it was time to look at a more functional chair for me that I could use without hurting the rest of my body, Took a long time. But even once I got my electric wheelchair, I would still do the same thing. I would get out of it to take pictures and then right back in it. And I did that all the way up until this festival. This festival, I told myself, why am I hiding who I am? It's just a chair. The people that love me and are closest to me know I'm in it. Why am I still hiding? You know, who am I afraid is going to judge me? The people that love me are the ones that are the most important, not a picture. So I stayed in it. And I didn't die. I didn't, wasn't mortified. And the pain I was in from the weather and the grueling, getting around and everything anyway, had I tried to do that with complicating it with standing and everything, would have been horrible. So I'm glad I did that. But I know I'm not alone in that. So if you have someone in your life that's struggling with that, because I know that is something that other people that are disabled are struggling with. I belong to a few forums and stuff like that with other disabled people, and honestly, that helped me a lot to start doing, to start being okay with being in pictures and stuff when I'm in my chair. Just let them know that, you're there for them, and that it's not something that is, the stigma is not their problem, it's other people's problem. If you need your mobility aid, use it. And the only person that can tell you if you need it is your doctor and yourself. That's my rant. But it was a really hard personal journey for me, so. And then to touch on just a little bit on access. Having the Magpie shop be accessible and knowing that it was on their mind meant the world to me. And I will tell you right now, a lot of the reason why I spent the money I did in that shop. Because I knew that being in that shop, they had thought about disabled customers. That meant a lot. That meant a whole lot. Absolutely. And I said thank you with my wallet. I mean, it's an amazing shop. And knowing that from day one, they made sure that disabled shoppers were able to come in and be included, absolutely. I will stop at that shop every time I go to Maryland. Every time. Absolutely. And you know what? It's only 2.5 hours from my in-laws. I may do it every time I go visit them. Because I'm included. I exist. One thing that, because I know not every shop can have a ramp. You can't alter your building if it's a lease, but there are portable ramps that you can put out, and that's something that Fiberspace has. My husband and I have considered buying one of those ourselves. They're quite pricey to keep in the back of our car. That way, if I want to go somewhere, we don't have to worry so much about accessibility, because let me tell you, it's a bleak world out there for accessibility. If we want to go out to dinner, or if we want to go to a store, we have to call ahead and ask, do you have, is your store accessible? Is your restaurant accessible? It's just something to think about if you own a business. There are actually lists out there in disability forums of which restaurants, which stores are not only accessible, but don't make it a hassle to be accessible. For instance, if you have one of the little signs like Magpie does, and you call it, and they're like, oh, give us about 20 minutes and we'll set up the ramp. If that's how it works, no. But yeah, it meant a lot to me. It did. I think that's about it. I hope this wasn't too much of a jumbled nightmare. I'm gonna cringe and watch it and try to edit my breaks out and all that kind of stuff. We'll see if I can make this a, I don't know, maybe a semi-regular thing with a different camera. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Talk to me in the comments, since I can't come on Ravelry and have any conversations with you guys. I miss it. But yeah, be safe out there. Be kind to each other. Knit something pretty. Bye.